right, everybody, we're going to call this meeting to order. And does everybody see our beautiful flag?
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
I see it.
If you don't see it, just pretend you do.
Yes.
Can everybody stand up while we recite the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome. We have one guest that I shall put on the spot at the moment. Would you introduce yourself and give us a little information of what brought you here?
Hello, my name is Larissa Adiyanka. I came from Russia 2 years ago. So my English is not well, I'm sorry, and I'm afraid to speak. I'm afraid of public speaking, so I came here to improve my skills and my language.
Welcome. Tonight, our agenda is different because we're having a speech contest in preparation for area division district. And the district is on May 12th. And this weekend, our winner and all the other club winners are going to the, correct me, area?
Area.
Okay, I'm getting the genealogy correct. Club, area, division, district. There we go. Okay. So, this coming weekend is the area contest. And if anybody, can somebody hit my phone because apparently I forgot to mute it? I'm participating as a speaker, however, I am unable to make May 12th. May 12th is the district.
That's
So.
a definite maybe.
Hmm?
That's a definite maybe.
Okay, just thought I'd let you know. And for the night, our Toastmaster of the evening is going to be Bob, and he's going to explain everything else. And I'd like to introduce myself. Teresa McCoy, I'm the president.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel bad. She forgot about me too. But as a young club, mistakes are made, and guess what the best part about mistakes is? We can learn as we stumble through things. We don't laugh at the person who falls on their face. We laugh with them as they pick themselves up and say, well, I guess I didn't see that coming. And you say, well, I guess I didn't either. I would have said something. And then, remember, smart people learn from their mistakes. The smartest of all will learn from the mistakes of others. So I'm standing up here now, and I will probably make a mistake or two tonight. Just don't repeat it yourself, you're smarter. Maybe not smarter than me, but you'd be smarter than someone who goes and does what I'm not supposed to do. Now that nobody's laughing, tonight we're going to have 3 speakers. I've been shuffling these papers for like a good 5-10 minutes. Crystal says, what are you doing? I'm staring at her so I don't see what's coming up. In random order, they will be called up. They don't even know who's first, second, or third. In the random order right now, we'll have Lee, Joe, and Teresa speaking. Saturday is the area contest. It's going to be at the Cascades Library in Sterling. I will get to make sure that the winner has the correct address and the time. Be there. I will be judging. I cannot judge Area 52 because I've got a contestant for my club here. So I'll be working with Area 51 judging, and maybe one of their people will help judge 52. April 14th is the division. The winner from the area goes to the division. You will see, if one of you wins, you will see, instead of watching the Area 51 person going, yay, now you're competing against them. In May is the district championship. We're going to see who's the best of that. That is going to be recorded. Next, there's the international competition as part of the international conference. I believe it's in August. We're going to see the best of the best. And Toastmasters will also seek a professional, well-known speaker to give the keynote speech. I turned down that offer because, well, I just didn't want to do it. I might not be good enough either, but, well, I just didn't want to try. Later is later. Rules are simple. You have 5 to 7 minutes to give your speech. If you do it for 4 minutes and 59 seconds, you are disqualified. If you go to 7 minutes and 31 seconds, you are disqualified. So you want to watch the timer. And the timer, would you please identify the colors and what they'll be, because it's real simple tonight.
This is 5 minutes, green. 6 minutes, the yellow. And 7 minutes, get the red. And you have 30 seconds to finish.
Is there a, turn that around, would you please? And where it stands right now, just turn it.
Oh.
You're disqualified.
Okay.
If you don't see the green and you say, thank you, don't say thank you. Don't worry, we'll be nice to you anyway. So please, go for it. Also, at the district conference, they're going to have an evaluation contest, and I've heard everybody here did good evaluations. But we're not going to hold an evaluation contest because we have to have a model speech, and then we listen to the evaluators, and then everybody judges the evaluators. That's how they do it. I'm doing the model speech for Area 51 because I could very well have a competitor from 52 in this club going. I would like to know who wants to evaluate in this contest. You will hear a speech. You will sit alone and you'll write up your evaluation for about a minute or two, and then you will come in one by one to give your evaluation in front of the judges. I'm thinking Teresa does good, Crystal does good, this brother Bob does good, you do good, Lee. I don't know, you do. And Joe, of course you do. If I don't get a volunteer tonight, maybe we'll, or get 2 or 3, great, we can see how we're going to solve it. If we don't, I'm going to really press 1 or 2 of you to think about it. I have until Friday night to turn the names in to the contest master, or his designate, in this case, our current area director. So, I will ask you all, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you ready
yes,
to
yes.
see who's going to speak first and what they're going to talk about?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes!
That was real hesitant. Our first person. As soon as I say the next words, y'all don't know who it is, but I'll say it anyway. Therapeutic lifestyle planner provider, solutions provider from Baltimore. Comes all the way down here, an hour and a half if the traffic is nice, and you know this time of day that means no longer. She probably leaves there at 3 o'clock just to get here in time. She not only joined Toastmasters, she didn't do it to be a Toastmaster. She's also the second president of this club. Coming in here with a willingness to serve, to help us all be better. Would you all join me in a warm welcome to Teresa McCoy. It's all yours.
Commissioner members, guests. My speech is titled Happy Fit Life for Me. Life is not a path of coincidence, happenstance, and luck, but rather an unexplainable, meticulously charted course for us to touch the lives of others and make a difference in the world. Barbara Dillingham. That quote resonated with me the first time I heard it. When I was writing my first icebreaker, it looked as if my life was many divergent paths, but it's really only one path with a lot of diverse experiences that have given me the opportunity to learn and take that and apply it to touch the lives of others and make a difference. There's not enough time for me to discuss all of my adventures, so I'm going to focus on one or two key moments in my journey for a happy, fit life for me. It's October 1993. The doctor sits me down and proceeds to inform me I'm pregnant with twins. From there, he goes to educate me, letting me know any birth before 37 weeks is gestationally premature. For twins, the goal is to carry them past 32 weeks, and then it's safe to deliver. And preeclampsia is generally the #1 cause for preterm births in multiples. That's high blood pressure, edema, swelling, all over the place. Not very fun. Their method to try and delay the onset of preeclampsia is dietary restrictions. That was the first time I realized how important diet can be to your, well, wellness and health. I made it past 32 weeks. They were still premature. You wouldn't know it by looking at them because they were literally stuffed into the NICU isolates, weighing a whopping 6 pounds, 1 ounce, and 6 pounds, 6 ounces at 34 weeks and 5 days. Had I gone full term, I was told they would have been over 9 pounds each. Next, I learned how food continues to affect the body when it was time to wean. And we discovered they could not digest milk proteins and had soy allergies, severely restricting our choices for formulas. 9 months of age, they're placed on a celiac diet. Had we not been aware of their dietary needs, they wouldn't be the 6'3" hockey players they are today. Somebody once said, the greatest motivator to getting healthy is to develop a chronic illness. In 1997, I no longer accepted that the symptoms and the fatigue I was feeling was typical for a mother of twins. Eventually, the doctors diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis. Things progressed, and I got to the point where I could not work. I didn't have 6 hours of functioning a day. And after the birth of my youngest in 2000, the twins at age 6 had to learn how to carry and help care for him because I couldn't. I could not be the mother I always dreamed of. But I wasn't giving up. Traditional medicine and treatments were making me less functional than the symptoms they were supposed to alleviate. So I began my quest into alternative and complementary therapies. With that, as time progressed, I wound up regaining functionality I became more functional than in the past. I became a health and wellness coach. Fast forward to 2013, 2015. At that point in time, I wound up having 5 surgeries in 3 years due to falls from the MS. My symptoms had progressed to where I could no longer work 10 hours a week. And at that point, I was also losing my house because I wasn't bringing in the income needed. Is it time for me to give up on a happy, fit life? No. I learned about inflammation and hormone balancing. I reached out to a coach, Lydia Martinez, who developed the metabolic method. Took the hormone profile, started implementing the protocol, and today I am healthier that in combination with the alternative and complementary therapies that we're helping. I'm healthier than I've been in the last 2 decades. That's when my passion got rekindled, that I can go out and inspire and empower others to find their happy, fit life too. With that, I studied to become a certified metabolic method coach. I joined the Toastmasters to regain the confidence that had been lost in 2 decades and become a better speaker. My passion is to inspire and empower others. With that, my URL came to creation, happyfitlifeforme.com. The intent, while it is my personal goal, is also to help all those who visit the page to claim as their intention a happy, fit life for me. Toastmaster.
Well, I guess we're all going to be happy and fit now, yes? I'm not going to repeat that one, okay? So, having heard about healthy, fit, and powerful story, we now move on to an individual.
Mr. Contest Master, can we, the judges have 1 or 2 minutes of silence to fill out the ballot before we move on to the next?
Absolutely. BB. Next year. Ponder that and hold that thought because, as I promised, we're going to have an interesting person. We're going to hear from someone we know or never heard called before, Math Dude. As we hear about, are you smarter than a 4th grader? This is coming from an aerodynamic programmer or a space ranger and a teacher of math and physics. How many people know that is Sir Joe? Oh, and helper.
Oh, yes. Are you smarter than a 4th grader? I asked this to my students before I prepped them for a variety of things. But first, a word problem to see if they were actually smarter than anybody. So I'm going to give you an integer problem. Just an addition or subtraction problem. And I said, let's test and see if you're ready for this. 1 plus 1. 3 plus 4. 2 minus 2. 7 minus 4. Well, I guess they're ready. I'll give you the word problem 2 ways. Just make sure you listen carefully and see if you can deduce the problem and the answer. What's 2 days after the day before yesterday? Same thing as 2 days before the day after tomorrow. You know the mistake they made. They're listening to both. They're processing the first and then they hear the second and they get confused. What's 2 days after? Add 2. The day before yesterday. Subtract 2. Today. What's 2 days before? Minus 2. The day after tomorrow? Plus 2. Again, 0. Of course, my response to them was, you people are so lame. It's so embarrassing. can't even add, subtract, total numbers. But they persisted in hoo-haing that that's just too much math. So I went on to talk about math as a language. Pictures, patterns, logic. That's how I taught math. Pictures, patterns, and then the logic. The logic is the algebra and math. Pictures and patterns really make a lot of difference. So here's where I gave them the problem of the day. I'm going to talk about Carl. He's a fourth grader, maybe a third grader. He's only 8 years old, and he's given a math problem with his class. Add the first 100 digits. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, all the way to 100. Well, she figures out to keep him busy for a while. Seconds later, Carl. 5,050! I got it! 5,050! The teacher is stunned. How could he do that? Well, Carl was a math maniac. He had the math gene bad. Oh yes, his full name, Carl Frederick Gauss. Yes, even in the 4th or 3rd grade, he was hopelessly anti-math phobic. Here's what he did. What's 1 plus 100? 2 plus 99. 3 plus 98. It's always 101 going down to 50 plus 51. 50 pairs, 50 times 101, 5,050. That was Carl. He was one crazy math dude. My inspiration. Well, the kids weren't satisfied. They said, Mr. Pavlak, you're not normal. You like the math. I said, why, thank you. And he said, why would you thank us for telling you you're not normal? Well, I said, I've never been accused of being normal. Because if I were normal, I'd be like you. Ugh, I feel tainted. Of course, the kids got off on that and they hoot and howl with some more. They're having a good time. So I told them about the next part of the problem. Right, add up. You're gonna add up the number of diagonals in a polygon. Triangle, 0. Square, 1 plus 1. 2. A pentagon, 5 sides. 2 plus 2 going from each vertex, and then a 1. So it's 2 plus 2 plus 1. Hexagon, 6 sides. From this first vertex, 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Heptagon, 7-sided. 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. It's always 3 less. Repeat the number, count down to 1, add them up. That's the number of diagonals. So I said, here's your question. How many diagonals are there in a polygon with 103 sides? And then one of the kids who had actually been listening, I got it! 5,150! Because it's 100 plus 100 plus 99, down to 1. So the problem I gave earlier, 5,050, I'm matching up the numbers and change it to a multiplication plus 100. So, some of them were listening. Still, the kids didn't get not all of them got it. So I had to bring in my helper. Say hello, Grover. Hello, everybody. They love that. I said, Grover, I'm going to give you a problem. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Can't take it. Come on, you can do this. What's 2 plus 3? 2 plus 3 is 5. Mr. Cookies, then I ate them to 0. You silly goose. Go back to bed. That's right. No matter how you say it, it's still 2 plus 3. Doesn't matter how you say it. Doesn't matter where you say it. But in a spoken tongue, it makes a difference. So I picked up my favorite student, usually he's sitting in the front, and I said, you're special. Then I looked at one of the troublemakers, and I went, you're special. Of course, they saw the difference. The words were the same, but spoken tongue, it makes a difference. Who you say it, how you say it, where you say it, everything. Not with math. So the kids were very entertaining. I was trying to keep them on task and listening to me by keeping it entertaining. And as a result, they actually learned the math. Of course, they still called me a vampire because I was sucking a life out of them. Of course, my response was the next day, "Welcome to Welcome Little pink mess." Okay, never mind. They bought that hook, line, and sinker, and they went along with it, and they stood on track. They learned the stuff. I said, "You guys are great. I'm gonna give you all the grade you deserve. I'll give you an extra grade just for listening to my lame jokes and laughing at them. But that means I'm starting at an F because you know nothing, because you're kids. And you know the synonym for adolescence. And I didn't know it. Every parent knows this. Clueless. It says no reflection on your intelligence. But until your experience is supplementing your intelligence, you're clueless. And they understood. You got the experience matters. I was an average math student. They got the message, and I was happy to say, I'm a math teacher. Mr. Toastmaster.
And here we thought it would be numerology.
Close.
One person got it who wasn't him. Mr. Timer, 2 minutes and 2 seconds. And now, we know who the third one is going to be. But, this gentleman, I would like you to picture him in blue. A nice, royal, beautiful blue. For that is what he has chosen to wear for 23 years in serving this country in the United States Air Force. He's told us a little bit about that. We've seen some little windows in the Air Force life. But now, we'll see a little bit more to him as he describes the challenge. And I wonder if it's because he's a proud husband and father. That's already a challenge there, isn't it? But he will travel to China to adopt a second child. And he may need to know a couple of these nicer words, including Neoma. So let us welcome Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Welcome. 23 years in the Air Force. 23 years in itself is a long time to do anything. 25 years ago, you would never have heard me bring up the idea, bring up the concept of traveling anywhere. I actually grew up in this area. I grew up in Burke. Between the time I was born to the time I joined the military, I spent only a few days, 21 maybe, outside of the DC metropolitan area, outside of the Mid-Atlantic area. There was everything for me in this area. A couple hours east, you're in the ocean. A couple hours to the west, you had the mountains. You had big cities up north a little ways. You had country, small towns all over the place. Why would I want to go anywhere? My reasons for joining the military were simply to get a decent job, get an education, and to get out of mom and dad's house, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take that experience over the past 23 years. I'm going to challenge you to do something. All of you. Simply travel. I know, ma'am, you said you were from Russia, a place I have not had the privilege to visit, someplace I would like to go someday. But challenging it is. Challenging for anybody to do. For anybody, can walk out the door of this facility right here, this church, go home, go get a couple changes of clothes, get a tank of gas, and drive a couple hours and go see any of those areas I described. Or if you plan ahead, you can actually get a plane, a train, or drive a little further. The beaches may not be Ocean City. Those beaches may be down in Florida or Hawaii. The mountains might be rocky. Not just name, but naturally rocky mountains. But those, in many ways, those travels, whether near or far, are safe. Yes, there are dangers involved, and things may happen. Your car may break down, you may forget some toiletries. But realistically, they're safe. Why do I say they're safe? Because if you forget your toiletries, there's a Walmart or a grocery store just right down the road. Just go shopping. Your car breaks down, got AAA. Your reservations get screwed up, call your agent. Relatively safe. How many people, I know of at least one, no, at least two, who've had to travel with one of these things? How about one of these things? A visa. I know you can't really read those, even maybe if you're close. If you travel one of these, the challenges are a little bit more. Are a little than just actually having to worry about how to find the toiletries if you need them, or what happens if your reservation goes awry. Those are some things. As a result, three things I've learned. I've learned a lot more in all my travels, but three things I know. I've got a timer going, clicking away. But three things I'm going to talk about. One, getting out of your comfort zone. Two, opens your eyes to the world. And three, puts your life in perspective. That comfort zone for many people happens as soon as you go across that border, whether you're driving, flying, or in a boat. The flags, first off, look different. People sound funny. And the money, the currency, people joke about Canada having monopoly money just because they're so multicolored. My wife jokes in China and in Canada, we both traveled, that money's not real. Really? It worked over dinner, didn't it? Yes, those comfort zones, you start learning about culture. You start learning that we are just a little bit different in the areas we experience. We get to learn about history, what makes the country or the region what it is. Helps us get to understand that, for example, picking a big event in world history, World War II, Russia, Germany, and the United States may view that war differently, as much as China, Japan, and Korea may view the same war. But yet, that whole impacts the way the world today is because the events at the time, even though the perspectives are different. We also get to learn about the cultures and help us understand that our perspective of the world, as great a country as we are, as awesome places as we, as many immigrants as we find coming to the States on a regular basis, many times that perspective, other peoples do not have the same perspective of our country as we do. So as a result, we get to learn where we stand, get a better understanding of where we are within the larger global environment. So I challenge you. I challenge you to go travel a little bit. I challenge you to go see the world. You might have some hardships. You may get out of your comfort zone. Oh, you'll definitely get out of your comfort zone. But even though those travels may be a little difficult, I can guarantee you will grow and be a better person for what you've seen and what you've experienced. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir Timer. Lady Crystal. would you take the judges wherever you think appropriate, in the corner or another room or the hallway, and tabulate the results, please?
Yes, we'll go in the hallway.
Sounds good. May I have the contestants up front, please? Thank you, Joe. Face down, please. What month is your birthday, Joe?
July.
What month is your birthday?
January.
September.
Yours is closest to today, so tell us, please. Where did you grow up? And introduce yourself. Did you say a little bit about where you grew up? Think about a sentence or two.
Okay, Teresa McCoy. Most of my life was in Dundalk. I had a short stint where I lived in Tazewell, Virginia, and went to school there for a year.
And what brought you to Toastmasters? Something unusual you would like to add to what you have said?
I would say the most unusual thing is given my distance. How did I wind up here? And that was because I have a friend who is on the job search, and CNM helped me. So I encouraged him to come here.
And now, I believe you said July.
July.
And you were February. July's closer. So, Joe, where did you grow up as you introduce yourself?
Joe Pablo. Born in Rome, New York. Spent time in Ohio, New Jersey, New Mexico. Actually, it was 4 different high schools. My father was moving around here. Just the way it was. And then I ended up in Virginia, and I got married.
Alrighty. Now, what is something unusual about your Toastmaster experience? Just make up 1 or 2 sentences.
Similarities are more, I mean, I just like what I told my kids in class, everyone's entitled to my opinion, that's why I talk so much. But if you want something different, the kids here are older and they can hurt you. I can't think of anything else, but they really might fit. Okay.
Some things we should never ask. Sir Lee, as you introduce yourself, tell us something about where you grew up, and where was it?
Grew up in Fairfax, Virginia. About 1.5 miles, 2 miles max, just south of where George Mason is on Braddock Road and 123. Unusual? It was actually quite boring, to be honest with you. I can't really think of it. Actually, I can think of one thing. Dulles International Airport. When it was planned and developed, someone said, "What a good idea to put out way out in the middle of the country somewhere." If government officials at the time had their say, the place we know now as Burke would have been known as Dulles International Airport. So that's probably the most unusual thing I can think of.
Wow. So, and as you entered Toastmasters, what have you been able to do and bring into Toastmasters as you receive things from Toastmasters?
I have learned extra. I'm going to kill this word again, sir. Extraneous.
Extemporaneous.
Speaking. The hardest word for me is that word. It's one thing I've learned from Toastmasters. I've learned how to do it very well. And that is probably the one thing out of Toastmasters that has helped me the most in the grand scheme of things. I've found myself in jobs or in positions, looking for jobs in the past, where I've asked all kinds of crazy questions, where that extraneous, that word is, I will learn that before the next Toastmasters meeting, has helped me more than anything. And not one single bit, except for the occasional odd job interview question, have I been, I can say, unprepared for. Why? Because I'm in a position where I knew the material, and it was the person asking the question, as you know, it's been off the cuff. So that's what's helped me. Thank you, sir.
Let's hear it for all three competitors. The judges are tabulating. So, at this point, since they're not back in quickly, there are 3 spots right there. You can all grab that and we'll see what happens. We will see.
Like in the front row or the second row?
Either or. Yeah, we'll do just like church. Did I sit in the front? Oh, come
I
on!
always sit in the front.
So,
Rise and face the jury.
I threw the question out earlier. Again, it's an open-ended question. Where will we be 1 year from now? What will we do as individuals and as a team? The answers that come tonight don't matter. It's when you reflect on it. Think about it. Look where your future is. Look where you're going to go. What would you do? I have some goals as well. It doesn't matter because I'm not the subject. And where will I be to help the club? Again, work on that. Now we say, judges! Come on. The judges have returned. And now, if I could bring our 3 contestants up to the front. Our 3rd place winner for this competition, Lee Proctor. Our 2nd place person must be available and should go to the contest in case the 1st place person cannot attend. Joe, you are number 2.
All right.
Of course, that means Vanessa.
Speech.
I was not expecting that. Okay, well, I guess I'm busy this Saturday now.
Yes. And unfortunately, I'm coming from power. We'll talk later. We may go carpool. Oh, I got something else to do later. Never mind.
All right.
Anyhow, I will now ask a few people to think about and repeat for the judges what was said. What will you do 1 year from now? Where will we be as a club? The best answers will come after you reflect and think on that. As our contestants will take their seats and rejoice and relax.
Not walking too far.
If I may steal the thunder from the president for a moment, we had another 2 people come in after the initial introductions. May we hear from you 2, please? Your name and what brought you here?
Hi, I'm Leah, and what brought me here is I was passing by, I saw notice here, and Kristen said, why don't you come in?
Welcome.
She hijacked me.
Yes.
We are here to answer your questions. I'm the Vice President of Education. You have met our President, who's now our best speaker in this competition. And your name, sir?
John, came here 2 weeks ago and wanted to check it out again.
Excellent. Welcome back. Our next meeting, in 2 weeks, we will have something a little more normal. So, at this point, we prepare for that inevitable re-welcoming of our President to preside over our closing and any special business. Madam President.
Closing business. First, it's time for dues, renewals. We need to have them in by the end of March. Next meeting is a typical meeting. So if you're looking for the standard meeting with the fun improv and
Central things to
interaction,
think about.
we will have that. The following meeting is another special meeting. It's a humorous speech workshop where we have presenters coming in and the entire meeting will be theirs. Crystal, will you tell us a little bit about our presenters?
Sure. Our presenter is an area contest winner, humorous contest, and he's going to be teaching us a little bit about humor, and I have to still get with him, but hopefully he's going to teach us how to write a humorous speech. He's won lots of contests, him and his wife both, and they're excited. Well, he's excited to come. She wanted to come as well, but she has obligations that day.
All right. And the next thing, on piggybacking onto Bob's question, where will we be a year from now? Where will we be June 30th for me? Because we need to have elections in May. The president is not allowed to hold office 2 terms in a row. So that means we will need a new president. The other offices are allowed to be maintained, but we would rather have new blood, new people. For those of you who are visitors, the majority of our officers were brand new. The year the club was formed, as last year. So it's a really great experience. If you want to develop leadership skills, language skills, we have multiple positions, and you can think about that. When you become a member, I do encourage to go through the Pathways program. That is our online educational system. It is interactive, and I learned a lot. And that was after giving 5 speeches with the old system. So I've started the Pathways program. I do recommend those who are current members to start just to get used to it and familiar. There's a lot of really good information in there. And lesson 2 is all about evaluations. So it definitely, if you're a little timid, not quite sure how to give an evaluation, there's a lot of good information on there. And that brings us to our distinguished club. We are officially a distinguished club already. For those who are guests, every club over the course of the year is required to hit certain key points in education, membership, financial, administrative. We have 10 points that we can earn. If you earn 5, you are automatically a distinguished club. If you don't earn those 5, you go on probation. Well, it's a big deal because we have hit the 5 mark mid-season. And there are a lot of other more established clubs who still have not even hit the 5 mark. So that means we could become the next level up. What's select distinguished, and then presidential. Presidential is hitting 9 of the 10. And I'm looking for us, there's no reason we can't get the other 2 points. That requires a couple more people, give more speeches, and then we will have those points. So, anything else? Dues, pathways?
I just want to say, I am going to go visit the Winter Circle Toastmasters Club this coming Friday. It's in Ashburn, and they're having their club contest, and they're filled with like nothing but contestant winners and things like that. Not everyone is, but it's going to be a really good contest. So if anyone wants to go, it's at 7 o'clock in Ashburn. They have potluck that starts at 6:30, and it's going to be great.
Okay. Well, meeting officially adjourned.